Sir,
we are watching movies.
No.
Who is subscribing Netflix?
Write in the comment section right now if you have a Netflix and Spotify.
You're subscribing for Netflix. You're watching. What's this one that they always do? Bridgerton.
I born for you.
That one that they used to do. I born for you. Imagine if a brother says, "Let him even say this thing to God."
I mean,
he's just saying, "Give us money so that we can born for God." But no,
that's what we're asking for. We're not to borrow, to born for God.
But no, you rather watch a man burning for a woman. A lady burning for a man.
And you use another money you used to buy data.
Yes.
To come on another platform that you probably paid for verification.
For verification. And then you are now explaining and trying to convince us with your exegesis on why we should not burn. If not that I'm born, if I know you, Hadibi, I know you now. Hadibi, I know you now.
We are born again.
I would have told you that you're born in hellfire, but no problem.
So, first agenda of the day.
Yeah.
In our parliament, the Turnup culture parliament.
Culture parliament.
Does God hate creatives?
More times 1,000.
Times 1 billion.
Actually, that's. I feel like this is something that's been in the space and no one talks about it. Everyone is just like, we know say you they think calm.
You have your opinions.
You've been thinking about it, but you're scared to say it out loud, and that's us. That's what this platform is about. We say it.
And on the other side, there are some of you that are running your mouth. Every opinion you have, recklessly.
So there are two.
We also have something for
you. But the thing is, it's a very solid question because every day you read the bio of any big pop star, it goes at 13. His mom was the choir mistress while he sang in the church.
I sang in the choir.
I started from the church,
started from the church,
If we can even get an edit, because you have
name the person, Rema, Beyonce,
whoever started from the church, Jojo.
R. Kelly start from church.
Guy, everybody. I just go. R. Kelly wrote Trinity 5/7 Grace. By God's grace.
I gotta give us tracks.
So he started from the church. This one started from the church.
Started from the church. Now we're here. Started from the church. Now the whole team here.
Exactly.
So here now,
I guess that's what they'll be singing.
Yeah, now it's secular side, the other side,
and then the whole team is there, and you start wondering: is it that God has something against creatives? Like, why is it that the person is here with us, and then the moment they go there, just go?
Or why does it feel like you have to leave
this space? Yes.
So by this space we mean being a creative as a Christian or church community, or being a Christian creative. Yeah. And so when we keep using this word Christian creative, so obviously we're talking about people whose creativity doesn't necessarily fit the usage of church service.
Yes.
So the moment you're not in that category, it feels like everybody who has been successful has had to leave the space. So what's happening? Is it that God knows send us?
Yes.
Are we stupid people that are just have we made a God out of creativity?
Are we just pushing something that is not even part of the...
I mean, some people are already accusing us. Some people want the things of this world. You are using Jesus to make an excuse.
To cover up and do what you want to do. Or are we chasing something that was never meant to be? Maybe it was never part of his plan from the beginning. Or are we
just not doing it the right way?
Exactly, which is where I feel like the real conversation is. Because now you look at how are creatives treated. Like, what's the... No, let me not go for the treatment yet. What's the interaction between the church and creatives? Like, we know what we do with... if I come and say, I have the gift of prophecy, I've been called into the office of a prophet, we all know what they will do with me. Like, invitation start show. If I sing like, our brother Tio.
And baby boy.
And I come through with a voice.
With some chants.
We know what you're going to do with it. But the moment I come and I'm like, I have poetry, spoken words,
I do
rap,
Christian Afrobeats. I write love songs.
I write these alternative, Christian songs. I have my it's like, okay, so where do we it's like, what do we do with you right now, right? And most times what happens is they try to convert you to the Gaise uses this term a lot. The temple, like you become a
temple creative or a temple musician.
Or a temple musician. So it's like you serve within the church or the choir, which I've heard some people push that agenda recently that every Christian creative, like musician, should and must be, that's their only function, is to serve on the stage, like the altar.
On the altar.
And
nothing else.
The choir, nothing else. It's not a career, it's nothing.
Well done, sir.
Which is also helping, like, it's making us feel like maybe God just hates these guys, right? But that's not the truth. Because I would say in the Bible we had creatives like Solomon, right? David. So for instance, I don't think there was special number. I don't think there was special number in those days synagogue. In the synagogue where they'll be like, so if you have a special number,
Brother David will play the harp for us.
Then Brother David will come and then you see a Psalms of David played on the strings of. You get, there was nothing like that, and he was creating. Same thing with Solomon. I don't think they'll give Solomon like our brother Solomon. David has this song,
has his new proverb.
And then he's just young. This young boy.
He has his new proverb.
He has his new proverb. Or he has his new
dropping
poem.
On Friday. New proverb Friday.
He says, "Oh, how sweet my love, thou's," and then they'll set the mic stand for him, and then he'll come like, our spoken word guys. I love you guys. Like, alas, from afar I see my love comes. I don't think they had anything like that, but they were creating. And then so much that this their materials or their pieces made it into what we consider the Holy Bible, right? So it was not just writings of Abraham and the rest. The entire Psalms, Proverbs, Songs of Solomon. These are writings, right?
As you're speaking now, for example, and one of the reasons why because of how much, first of all, like music, typically drives culture. Like music is usually the heart of culture. If you want to enter a space, language, music, then style.
Any other
right?
thing,
But the fastest way to even transform or shape a culture is music. And so, of course, it will seem like we're focusing a lot on music, but it's even the broader sense. Because, for example, while we're speaking, I'm thinking of Bezalel, for example. Now, we know he's a craftsman that was an excellent craftsman, gifted by the Holy Spirit in his time. They didn't say they gifted him with the Holy Spirit because of the work he was about to do. No. He was already gifted.
Yes.
But Bezalel was not a church craftsman. He wasn't.
No.
He came and did the project for the temple. No, and that's not. I don't even want to go there. It's not, I'm not even.
He was serving the community, which just happens to be.
People now like, I'm not even trying to go about their tags part. I don't have a problem with tag. Anything tag or don't tag.
Have tag any tag.
Tag yours. Anyone, whatever you want. That's on you, right? But what I'm even saying is on the basis of function. So, for example, you say, "Oh, why is it that?" So this is the question.
Yeah.
It's very easy for everybody to shout at the Christian musicians. You must only sing in church. This is the only way you can operate.
You must be on stage.
Nobody says that to a crafts person.
Nope.
Nobody says that to the decorations person.
The fashion.
Nobody says that to the fashion person.
Yes.
Nobody says that to the doctor.
Nope.
Nobody says that to the lawyer.
To the electrician.
Nobody says that to the electrician. It's only the musician.
The light guys. The sound
guys. Everybody expects that you should function in real life. And you should also bring it and function in church to support, because we must do that.
Drummer,
once you're a musician, keyboardist, singer, songwriter, oh no.
It's only on Sundays you go to office.
That you have, and it's not like that. I mean, we're having a conversation off camera.
Yeah.
And Victory, shout out Victory.
Yeah, Victory is actually producing this. Victory Talk TV.
The founder of Talk TV. He's the one producing
But
the
we are
show.
not in any way associated with the Talk
violence.
TV platform and their violence. So this is our, what they used to call that thing.
Disclaimer.
This is a disclaimer.
Our opinions here are
solely us
and not Talk TVs.
And not Talk TVs.
Yeah. And what we're saying was how, because there was somebody here who was supposed to help us with sound, and he serves in a church, a church that is also like we're friends with the leaders of the church. But the point of that conversation was the amount of money they're even paying this guy for mixing sound. And it's not that just mixing sound for church. He mixes sound for church and all the things the leadership of the church do off service. And the monthly pay is Nigerian minimum wage. This is pre-strike. While I mean, at the point of the recording of this,
400k, not the 400k.
No, at the point of recording this podcast, Nigeria is currently going through a strike. We are fighting for 400k minimum wage, but the government is saying it's like 60k they want to pay. 60k. You know, that's another conversation.
That's bad salary negotiation. Though.
Man, I don't even know why they even brought 400k in the first place. Like, are you joking? Even Dubai doesn't do 400k minimum wage.
No. The thing is, if you have money, to go to Jerusalem,
60k.
If you have money to go to Jerusalem, you should have money to.
But in a sense where everybody else, every profession, every gift that is in the church that can be found in church is freely. Nobody talks to them about where they should operate until you're a musical gifts or musical related craft person. So even if you're not musical, once you're sound engineer, once you're drummer, once you're singer, once you're instrumentalist, there's an expectation already. And it's not like now, I'm even saying this now with some level of disdain because I read my Bible long before I started going to church. So a lot of my opinions about Christianity are my own, not what my pastor said. And the Bible I read, I remember clearly that the Levites, who were the so the Levites are not the only musicians in Israel. Bear in mind.
No.
The Levites are not the only musicians in Israel.
They invite them to parties and weddings.
Right? But the Levites are the group designated for temple worship. And last time I checked, the entire Israel is taxed through tithing.
Yes.
And part of the tithe is designated to take care of the Levites. Like the Levites were not allowed to own property. They are not allowed to own businesses. They're not even allowed to do businesses, which obviously now in context, I get it, because if you're saying, all musical gifts must be Levites, then obviously I understand where you might say, from. Then that means you should not do anything else. But the problem is, first of all, one, the only musicians in Israel were not Levites.
Of course.
They were Levites, there were musicians in other parts of the city. Right? That's one. Two, we don't even operate that kind of system right now. We
don't have that system.
We don't have it.
This is the New Testament.
This is New Testament era. We don't have a designated tribe that all they do
we don't even
is...
And we don't exactly, we don't have that operation because it was, I mean, funny enough, I'm currently reading Leviticus. And you're seeing how
we don't even have those structural.
We don't have that structural because God coordinates.
It's not mandatory. No,
yes, I don't know how to call it. It's like they're like, well, we'll just use.
You know when something is like mandatory.
Yes.
We don't have those structural obligations that the Old Testament church used to have. That can even say, okay, now we have a system. I mean, first of all, we are still trying to give tithe.
And then they were very exclusive in terms of what we call consecrated. In terms of you can't just, even if you live in the house of the Levites, you don't eat from the sacrifice that comes to the altar. There's a part of the sacrifice you eat. And there's a part of the sacrifice that belongs to them. And they must all eat it in the temple that very day. If you leave it till the next day, it's gone. So if you see these details, by the time you start seeing those details, we're not operating, which is something I don't like about modern day Christianity. It's like we need and pick. We just go pick the ones we think
that favors
and then we leave the rest. Because Apostle Paul kind of referenced that part when he was talking about. He says those who serve on the altar also are deserving of the meat, and then they eat from. What he was talking about was that whole the sacrifice that comes to the altar. That's actually where they eat from. Like there's a part of I think the priest is allowed to take out the fat. The fat is part of the...
I want to even interrupt this thought now because in my head I'm like, because if that's the case, are you sure we should not be paying choristers?
So...
Because if we're going to go there,
that's what I'm saying.
If we're going to go there,
the ones we want to use for manipulation.
That tithe and offering to suppose cover like as they pay. I mean nowadays I know because instrumentalists are the stubborn goat of church.
No,
they fought for being paid. Are you sure if we're going to stick to what we are going to try to play, let's take from the Bible. We supposed to pay choristers because Levites were being taken care of by the community.
They were not even allowed to own land. They had a portion of land that was dedicated to them.
That means
they don't farm.
They're supposed to have housing. And your choristers are supposed to have corporate housing. They're supposed to have salary, stipend. Their children you want to go there?
Exactly right. So by the time
you're not doing that and yet you're saying don't work. You want to kill us?
So no, you're saying it's no. If don't work is good, it's not work. Do you get when you say it does not? If you say don't work, that means you believe that we can. You are saying it's not.
Oh yeah, you're saying it's not even a work.
It's not even a work in the first place.
It's not industry. It's
so
ministry.
it's something about it is not adding up.
Meanwhile, the era that was ministry, the era that God ordained it for ministry, their needs were supposed to be taken off practically. There was a clear plan to take care of them and their families and their children.
Yeah.
We don't have those plans now, but you still want to insist on them operating as ministry.
So it's manipulative.
We're done.
So it's now looking, hence we're saying, it's looking like for the creative, when you step back, you're like, it looks like God must really hate us because if he's the one he's the one inspiring these thoughts. Because this person is speaking as a leader. And every word is inspired by the Spirit. So are we saying that are we saying that in your secret place now, God left all the topics? And then he came and then he said, you see these creatives, I have to find a way to keep them down. Like we have to hold them. Like, does it make sense? So the creatives are now looking at it, and the devil is now taking advantage of this. As simple as that. It looks like it's not a big deal because someone watching this podcast, what's this big deal that these guys are talking about? It's not a big deal now. But the devil is leveraging it.
Because, can you go into that?
The devil is leveraging it because now he understands that. First of all, I don't want to go into this topic, but he understands value. The devil understands value. So he's able to detect value. I think it takes us longer in the church community to detect something that's valuable. So we can the devil looks at something, looks at music, and then he says, this thing can influence people. I think we can use it. And then he sees this guy in church singing. To us, he's just a 12-year-old on the stage. To the devil, this guy is going to be packing out, like he's going to be performing 200,000 stadiums and all this space. So he looks at it and then he looks at the way you're treating him. It's food.
It's going to be easy
house.
To even...
What does the record label, guy? What does the average record deal?
So let's go there. So
what does the average record deal?
Let me now tell you where. Guy.
You get.
Guy. This is the first time. This portion of this conversation.
Yes, actually, this is the
first time. Guy. So let me backtrack.
Yeah.
So when God designed the nation of Israel, and he designated a particular. So again, remember, the Levites were not only worship music leaders.
No.
It's the entire ministerial arm of Israel. So the prophets, so let me not say the prophet, the priests, the altar boys, the ushers, everybody that serves.
The cleaning of the temple. You don't just go in and just clean the temple. No.
Every worker.
Yeah.
In the church of the Old Testament is from the tribe of Levi. You have to understand, it's not just the musicians.
Everything.
Every worker in the tribe of Levi are the designated people that serve in church.
Yes.
And God said, because of the amount of rigors I need these guys to do to focus on this work, they are not going to. First of all, I need them detached from the worldly affairs.
Yes.
Because let me
just add something to this particular point. God is now saying there's a part in, like, there's part of the instructions for the Levites where if you are a member of that family and let's say you engage in some kind of activities, I don't want to go very explicit, and you engage in some kind of activities, you are considered unclean for a period of time. No,
let's even go there. We're saying as little. This is what it means.
Burial. If you go for burial, let's say you attended a burial and then you were part of. Once you go for a burial or you touch, when you touch this thing, if you ejaculate within
your
24 hours,
your wife, they are not saying you slept with.
No.
You had sex with your wife as a Levite.
Or you were sleeping, you had wet dreams.
There's purification process
for 24 hours. You are not allowed to engage.
Before you can go back and engage.
You can't touch dead bodies. You can't touch anyone that's touched dead bodies. You can't interact with things like that. So So they needed that separation.
So actually, there's even a practical angle to the consecration because you need to be protected from contact, even unknowingly.
So that's the reason. It's not just it's not just because
it's not saying, just for spiritual.
It's not just like, oh, I don't want you to interact with people. No, that's not what he's saying. He's saying the more interaction,
the more you interact with real life, everyday life, the more it's easy for you. So for example, we're having. Part of, like you mentioned earlier, we're shooting a documentary and we're speaking with Shegun Lawal. Yeah. If you're too young, you may not know him, but if you're a millennial, you know Shegun Lawal of Spirit of David, the most popular, largest dance group ever, right? Now, and he was saying something about how, for example, we were talking about praying and praying for forgiveness, and he was making an example. He said, it's funny how you think. When you say, okay, why do you buy soap? Why do you have your bath? I'm not like we have a bath so we can be clean. Yes. Yeah, and I was like, bro, but when you use the soap and wash your body, what happens exactly?
Yeah.
Actually, what happens is that the dirt on your body falls off.
Yes.
So that you can be restored to your normal condition, which is clean.
Yeah.
So I mean, somebody might just go out, right? You might just go out during your normal day. You didn't even play, but you didn't. Maybe just small Nigeria Lagos sun.
Yeah.
You came back with some dirt or filth on you.
Yeah.
There might also be somebody that went to go and play and fall inside gutter.
Dettol advert gives the clear.
Dettol advert is a clear cut, right? So why I even brought out because there are even different levels of contamination. You might just go out and just have a regular day and have some little dirt based on I went outside, dust, whatever.
Yeah.
You might also go out and fall into a gutter. You might also be a waste management worker.
Loma,
you pack out trash. So you swim in dirt. So obviously the level on dirt on people is different. But we always need to come back and have a bath.
Yeah.
So what God is saying is to help you. So why I brought that up was because just from daily interaction alone, and with the level at which we see when Jesus even takes the issues of sin or consecration or even just keeping a good mental space. I mean, if you're watching YouTube, for example, people are talking about even mental, like, don't have people around you that complain a lot. Because the more human interaction you have, first of all, there's internal filth. Then there's the more human interaction you have, the more open you are to contamination. So what you're saying now is there are practical reasons why God needs to separate the Levites. But for that to happen, it means there are so many areas of everyday life the Levites cannot engage in like everybody else. Which is why everybody else's responsibility is to make sure the Levites have food, make sure the Levites have a place to stay, make sure the Levites and their children are able to go to school and have a good life so that they focus on the work. They don't miss out on life. They are taken care of. But now, fast forward 2,000 plus, 4,000 plus years later, we don't have those systems in place that give the Levites, aka the creatives or the Christian creatives, home, food, basic income, enough to take care, or structures to take care of their children. So what does the devil do? He brings the music labels. When they sign you, literally, the first specs of being signed to a label. So let's just spill this tea. You see one artist just come up from nowhere. I just want to thank God for my mama. I bought a new house in Ikoyi. It's label house.
Baba is label.
You just showed up, Baba. We know you never sell one single show ticket. Where do you see 150 million for house in
It's not advance.
It's label advance. In some, it's not even advanced. It's the label that owns the property. They just put you in there, and they're going to recoup on the money from
and they give you a car
because they will pay rent. They give you a new Jeep,
mortgage.
They are giving you a stipend for fashion for like
for you to
literally labels have come to do what God instituted for the Christian communities to do for Levites.
Exactly.
Why won't the Levites leave the space?
So you are now demanding.
So you're demanding that level of separation.
Yes.
But you're not supplying that level of protection.
Bro, not gonna happen on my watch. So you see where these guys are going. So they're leaving. So they're leaving and then they're like, man, why? So the devil being smart just gives them that deal.
And you know why it's funny? It's very easy now, especially, first of all, we always say this thing. They always leave and they blow. First of all, there are for every big popping secular artist, there are 10,000 more
bro,
that have not caught it. I'm just
10 million.
There's 10 million more that have not caught it. But why am I saying this? It's very easy to be judgmental at the successful few.
Yes.
Meanwhile, why am I bringing this up? Before all of them got to that point, when you have conversation, if you're privileged to have conversations with a lot of these guys, a lot of them actually had pure, sincere hearts. Now you can say what you want to do because I know right now some will be like, once your heart is pure, your heart is pure. You're saying rubbish.
No, there are those statements of, if he was really born again and he knew God, why did he leave?
You are saying rubbish.
Sit down.
It means you have not read your Bible. You have not read your Bible.
One place.
Because if you have read your Bible, you realize you can see that humanity is able to make people that were very fervent,
I tell you,
go 360 for no.
Yeah.
It happens the same way. I mean, Paul was killing Christians up and down, and God turned him around. It also happens the other way too.
It happens the other way.
From experience, if you have anybody that's engaged with these guys, you realize that their heart was first of all, it was an issue of basic expression.
Yes.
An issue of basic sustenance. Then now you see what now happens. If that thing was even provided by a system that was driven by God, it would have been a whole lot easier to create an environment that doesn't promote certain excesses.
Yes.
But what now happens when the devil literally comes and supplies you an avenue to express and an avenue to be sustained? Everything else will flow easy.
Well, who pays the piper detects
Who pays
the tune?
you will wear dress.
Who pays the piper detects the tune? And this one is literal because it's going to detect the
everybody's
tune.
going to wear dress. You see guy artists come and wear dress. I mean, that was part of Hollywood.
Yes, I know it's part of the game.
Hollywood,
the game,
that for now. I feel wear dress. So.
The game. He's whining you guys. He wants to use you guys. He wants to use you guys.
If you do mistake.
The game is the game. So like you come into that space and then these guys, the devil being so clever, that's what I'm saying. He's not like a man, which is what we're doing on this podcast. We just realize it's knowledge gaps.
Unveil the gap.
He's just taking advantage of this. It's simple. And you ask yourself, like would have said, this topic, what's the big deal? But for 30 something years, I mean, I'm chasing my mid 30s, right? I've not heard anyone talk about these things. It's always a social person left. That one left. They are just
Nobody's
crazy guys.
discussing
No
why,
one is sitting down to say
what is the solution
on our own part.
What can we do?
What can we do as a community? Why do they keep living? And then we always take the responsibility and say, "Oh, it's because it was not spiritual, you know."
That's
because
lazy.
It's about purpose too. Because there's something about being a human and then you're not fulfilling. You know you can do more. You know you can
multiply,
be fruitful. Yes.
fill the earth, and have
and something
dominion.
inside you is crying out for more.
And God, that's literally the first statement
Yes.
God made to
That
you.
was
First
the first
command.
statement.
It was both a blessing and a command.
It was first
And now you find yourself in a system that everything that system is
Just
trying to do is to shut you
it
down.
down.
No, I know work.
There's going to be that struggle. So you have a lot of creatives dealing within that space who are not like people are literally going.
People are literally having to meditate just for God to even
Yes.
help us believe that you can have. So people are coming shouting kingdom influencer, kingdom agenda, and they don't even believe they should be big, prosperous. And that is even another problem.
No. Let's go there.
Oh,
let's go there because
okay.
now we have a system where we now make it look. I don't know. We will still get more. Like we'll still have more time to explore this particular area.
No. It's a topic.
I just want to
on
highlight
it
it here. We believe that God's system, economic system, is non-profit.
It's non-transactional.
Yes, not for profit. So we fail to, like, we believe that's what it is. So the best of us, even when we're thinking.
The best of us are charitable cases.
So we're thinking, we don't think.
I mean, charity
profitability.
But
no, I'm saying I'm going somewhere. Like we don't think profitability. We think it's bad. So our best ideas, if you gather us in the room and you say, write down your ideas, most of the ideas that will come from that space, guy, that it's going to be mostly non-profit related. It's like there's this fear of saying, oh, I see a gap here.
We can make money.
From this. Meanwhile, God's system, in what I understand, like when we did that study of the Jewish community, is actually fair. It's a fair economic system where
it's an equitable system.
Yes, equitable system. So you profit, but not at the expense of the people, and the people also are not going to take advantage.
I think we have to go there. We have to go to this place. I'm a parent, right? I have at the time of this recording, my daughter will be 3 years old in like a week's time. And every other day on social media, somebody is sending me a post. Oh, don't watch Coco Melon. Oh, don't watch this one.
Miss Rachel.
Oh, don't watch this one. Even the Miss Rachel, we were watching one day. They came one day with their own agenda.
No, Miss Rachel is Rainbow.
Now I'm like, so here's where it gets tricky for me. First of all, I don't even like this whole alarmist thing about. It's like going to tell it. I don't like this idea where we wake up and every time I start in Babalawo is Babalawoing.
No, we have to dedicate an episode to that conversation.
But here's why I say that. So let me just open it out, because a lot of Christians are just on the surface. So small background, right? I'm a music artist, yes, but I'm also art director. We've done animation projects for multinationals. Yeah. So I'm a co-founder of an animation company. Yeah. Fully playing in the animation industry.
The animation company.
Basement Animation Studios. Multiple award winning. Yeah. Festival, name it, we are there. Biggest. Yeah. Right? Now, as together, we are deep in culture,
fully
music business.
Events, everything.
Right? Music business, event production.
Film production
content production. Both industry and front end. Him is coming from a
fully integrated marketing, communication, so experiential marketing, advertising, digital, anything, name it.
We are still coming for that. Him personally is coming from a background of over how many years now?
It's 14
years background in advertising, professional advertising, marketing, experiential design, strategy.
Everything,
right? So
plus
I'm
music
saying,
and all that.
Plus music. No, I'm even saying like I'm trying to point the industry playing. So
long story.
So
we'll
I'm
bring
saying,
the profile.
I'm saying animation, content production, music industry, advertising, marketing. That's the spaces you're seeing playing.
So
on
entertainment,
right
media, marketing.
Why did I bring that before you? I'm trying to tell you that we have back end info on how things work.
We know it
on the back end, right? So when everybody comes and just tweeting stuff, I'm like, yeah, you spend your energy tweeting that Coco Melon is this. Should I tell you how much the Disneys and Co pump multiple billion-dollar productions to sell a narrative to your children?
Raising kids.
Why does it work? It works because there's a profitable system.
Yeah.
Your children love the cartoons. The TV stations that are playing it are paying for licenses. Definitely. They have Disneyland and other Disney places that you can go advertising. People can put advertising spots. They will bring your Ben 10 wristwatch. You can sell
the merch. In fact, the merch sells.
The merch sells.
The Disney
Why
merch.
are all these things important? These are avenues of monetization.
Yeah.
So that, and what happens when there's money, everybody that's working on the properties, the people that own the properties make money.
And it maintains the ecosystem.
Can run their lifestyle and can keep producing more
sustainable
products.
Sustainable.
Now you come to the Christian place. Public funding. You say we're not giving.
No.
Somebody can even wake up and say we're not giving.
No, they say funding. They say it's not even supposed to be an industry first.
They say no, sir. I'm going to start. I was taking it back. First of all, the one that we should normally do by the scriptures.
Yes.
Which is community funding.
We have been defunded.
We have been defunded. And somebody, even the church, generally the church is being defunded. It's not even the tithe and offering is not as big as it is.
Not really
first. Then even when it was big, it was never really for the worshippers.
No.
Everybody else was collecting money except
everything was important.
No, everything was important.
Everything was important, but there was a particular group of people that were excluded
from others.
And we had scriptural reasons.
There's no wahala.
Reasons for excluding
them. You're excluding them from community funding.
Yes.
And you're saying they should not industrialize their gift.
Yes.
So how are they now supposed to keep on creating a system? So first of all, why did I go there? I'm saying this because one, it means we don't understand the value of money.
No.
We don't understand the value of value.
We don't understand value. We don't understand what, like, we don't have a value system.
We don't have a value system.
That's our first.
Why I even broke it down is we don't have a value system. We don't understand value.
Yes.
We don't understand the power and importance of
money.
Let me even say
once money at a certain level.
I'm going sorry for the third one, sir.
Please shoot.
It's 3 topics I've landed.
Shoot for the moon.
The third topic for another day. You also don't understand the place of entertainment.
And media. You have to go there.
That's why I broke it down. Those are different topics.
That one, I feel like since we're here, we should even hint that last one. Because that's what you actually.
Why do I say this? If you understand value, he's going to be. This is layer for him. If you understand value, you understand that life works give and take. 2, if you understand resources, the things you're complaining about. Why do I say this? You keep complaining about other people using their money
to do what they want, and you want to tell them how to do it.
And you want to tell them how to do it. No.
You carry jazz from out.
There's a group of people who want to do what we want, and we say we're not going to fund them to do it.
No, we say they are not even supposed to do it.
Then you say they are not supposed to productize it. then
what's
you don't
your
even
problem?
want to buy it from them. You have energy to come out and be fighting, sell ticket, don't sell
What's
ticket,
your
or
problem?
what's your then
What,
how is
and
it?
then and then it takes which we are also the problem is if we were not paying for the other ones, which I was telling you offline.
Sir.
We are watching movies.
No.
Who is subscribing Netflix?
Right in the comment section right now if you have a Netflix and Spotify
You're subscribing for Netflix. You're watching what's this one that they always do? Bridgerton.
I born for you.
That one that they used to do, I born for you. Imagine. If a brother says, let him even say this thing to God.
I mean,
he's just saying, give us money so that we can burn for God. But no.
That's what we're asking for. We're not to borrow, to
burn for God. But no, you rather watch Bridgerton. A man burning for a woman. A lady burning for a man.
And you use another money you used to buy data.
Yes.
To come on another platform that you probably paid for verification.
For verification. And then you are now explaining and trying to convince us with your exegesis on why we should not burn. If not that I'm born again. If I know you, I know you now. Hadibi, I know you now.
We are born again.
I would have told you that you're born in hellfire, but no problem. But what I'm saying is, we have now turned ourselves to while we did not, should I say, develop the value system, we developed something else, which was the consumer system. So we are consumers. Like the average believer.
The average believer is an angry customer. Always complaining. No, I want to say something.
But always coming back.
Always complaining to customer care that the product they're giving us is not good.
Yes.
But that's all you can do because you're a bloody customer.
Exactly. You're a customer. So we like consuming. So this is the thing. When you now raise the topic, why should we now fund it? They say no. Entertainment, and that's why I say that third point was very powerful. Sir. Entertainment and media is not on the grand scheme of things. It's just
not on the grand scheme of things.
It's just small. It doesn't really make any impact. But your Netflix subscription is the alert will soon come. Now it's the end of the month.
It's automatic.
It's automatic.
I have it.
So you are paying for Netflix, Hulu, Prime,
Star
YouTube,
Times,
and everything.
Guys, please sponsor
DSTV.
Sponsors.
DSTV and everything else, right? But the entertainment is not serious in Kingdom agenda. I would have taken you serious if you didn't have any. That's why I prefer that former church that say they should not have TV. If they are the ones saying it, then they have the right.
Space is not serious, but you are paying thousands of dollars just to be on their TV.
Yes,
that is even you trying to even be proactive.
You're also
paying thousands to them to pay on their station.
Yes,
when you stopped your own people from building their own, so they can come
we have
pastors.
A bad child.
For all of you. The year where some of you had passion to build media agencies, TV stations, radio stations, you convince them to come and be ushers and pastors.
And then we now take money and millions to their platform. But it's not important to the kingdom.
And
it's still
not. It's not so painful that you come where they even tell you, no, we don't promote Christian content on our station.
Yes.
We don't allow religious events on our applications.
They say it. It's only Sundays.
They play.
But we're paying them millions. I mean, there are stories of churches.
No. Wait. Business is not even important, right? But we're paying them millions to use their hotels, to use their venues.
Yes. And there are churches that have gone, like their ministries, if you know, we are in the church space. There are ministries that have gone bankrupt because they were owing media bills.
They're owing media bills.
Like go online. Google is your friend. Use Google. Owing media bills. But if we say let's have this conversation, entertainment, media it's not important. It's not important. But so it's like in Nigeria, they say, who do you?
Who do you?
Because what exactly is your problem? You're sponsoring something, paying for it. They say, oh, let's do it. Because now we don't have one of our greatest pain points on this podcast is the fact that we don't have a thriving Christian and media entertainment industry.
Christian creative and media entertainment industry.
So if you want to pursue a career, which goes back, if you really want to pursue a career in this space, for people like us who were very passionate and we knew this was where God wanted us to play in. I mean, my story is how, media influenced me. From One Cube to is it CBN, 700 Clubs. I was watching all these stuff to There was this TV station called JCTV. It didn't even last. That was where I saw Lecrae and the rest for the first time in back then in 26. And a couple of these stations here and there, and these shows that used to pop up, X2D, Set It Off, I think by Daro and the BNG guys, and a couple of these small shows, right? And I saw the impact. Like, it made me. There was something that happened in me, and I
when Rapzilla came out.
Yeah, bro, I was reading Rapzilla. Rapzilla was bookmarked on my Opera Mini. Rapzilla was on the first page on my Opera Mini. Yeah, you guys don't get it, on my CBN phone that year. So now I was like, this is the industry I want to work in. This is where I want to. I feel like I can do something in this space. But bro,
what's the system?
There was nothing available. So for something that we consume and we spend and we interact with a lot, we are now not. So they complain. Of course, we are going to complain because they have an industry and they have people they are sponsoring there. It's a career path. Like, you leave the university and you know, I am going to social industry. Like how I left school and say I'm going to the advertising industry. There are people who say, oh, I'm going to social industry. I'm going to social TV station. This is my career. I have this idea of this show. So things like this podcast is not, we would have done, like, we would have had stops like this from way back. And even right now, how many do we have? Right? But because we've refused to see it, so we'll rather spend resources sponsoring others and then come back and we're always giving reviews. Like in best in review.
Best in review.
Best in review. He should have known one. That dress is not about Ga. Is you sponsor it? So even the people doing it, like I'll mention names like the Mount Zions and the rest. Have we really even backed them enough?
Can they even come out and say we're doing a show and you must buy tickets?
Like, have we really?
First come outside.
Have we really backed them enough? And how many do we even have? And we're proud saying now we have social place, just one. Going Hollywood. Do you know how many studios they have in Hollywood? Do you know how many record labels?
How many studios?
Do you know how many studios? Universal.
It's so painful that even your favorite worship artist is under a label.
Most of them are all these CCM. All these CCM guys are signed to secular labels.
Proper secular label. That if you see the other people on the roster,
secular labels are now having gospel arm. They're still chasing our money. All them, Franklin and the rest.
Devil is even seeing the money in
labels under bigger.
He's seeing the money in your Jesus thing, taking advantage of it,
and using
the profit
money to
do something else. And you that have it, you are here arguing whether I should buy a ticket of 3,000 or not.
So if you're trying to understand why we're doing this podcast, I believe you get our heart. This is the awareness we're here to create. It's a conversation that is needed, that is secular in like the. Wait, how many Christian record label in Nigeria? No, not like how many Christian record label in Nigeria?
Easy.
Shout out to Mr. Easy.
No, I mean
yes.
Okay,
at least
let me call Moses Bliss and his crew. That's two.
They are there record label that they used to give people record label. I didn't see him as an independent artist who is established. A record, you know what I mean? A record label, Interscope. Those are record labels. That if you want to work in a record label, you can say, oh, I want to do, you can send your daughter and say, oh, let's go and intern in a Christian record label.
And you know why this thing is painful, so that you just understand that this rant is not just rant for ranting's sake, right? This is also another topic. So I even like this last thing you said, because literally, I think that's even where the podcast for this episode will even come to a close. Just for content, something to think about till the next episode. It's a topic on its own we'll still discuss in detail. If you hear the heart of what we're saying, what is anti-kingdom if believers could make a career out of pursuing God's agenda?
Yes.
Why is this important? You will say, no, you cannot money. And I ask you, so what would you rather? Somebody slaves 80 hours a week in a bank doing teller work they hate. Then their Wednesday evening that they just manage to struggle and escape meeting with HR. They now squeeze in 2 hours just to rush in and come and do small something at church.
Sing.
Maybe just sing and walk away. Then Saturday they squeeze in another time again to come and do rehearsal. Then Sunday they squeeze in another time on Sunday to come out. Then they've not even started settling and they're already dreading Monday morning is coming. Versus if this person's literal 9 to 5 was to pursue God's agenda. Because why I say this is, it also shows that, remember, first of all, I knew that all this argument we're arguing is where it shows that you people are not Christians.
You guys are not thinking. You are not thinking.
I want to accuse you. You are not Christians.
You are against God's
because
agenda.
When God, the people you're trying to communicate, to put in the box, the last time there was that box, God created a system that would take care of them.
Yeah.
Because they were working in the temple, but they were going to eat. They were going to live. They were going to give birth to children who they were going to send to school.
Yeah.
They were going to need food and shelter, basic needs on their back.
Facts.
And for them to do, unless you have not been a man of God, if you know how difficult it is to do God's work, Apostle Sam will say it's very difficult to do God's work with integrity when you are poor.
Exactly, and he says the name of Jesus is
very heavy. The second part of the name of Jesus is a very heavy name. It's probably the most expensive name to promote. And if you don't understand why, if you're living in a world where an entire generation is against a name, you will know how much resources in human capital and financial capital and structure that
you know how much resources it takes to build a name, to build a brand name. Oh. We work in the industry. You will know how much resources. When you hear, just Google the marketing budget of Coca-Cola.
Just Google it.
Just right now. Don't turn. Just sit right now while you are there. Just bring out your phone.
Check how much.
It's a spiritual. It's an instruction. How much? Prophetic instruction.
You're here. You'll be hearing if you follow music. $35,000 just to promote one song. Did that money fall from the sky?
Someone. So now because we've done this, right? We'll move. We have to round up. But because we've done this, round up.
What I was saying was, just think about it. Would you rather the person? And it's funny too, I'm not even saying because this is also kind of like a rhetoric question, because the last time there was some smoke where Gaise Baba and Jodeep were tricked to come online on Christian Twitter, and we thought we were about to have a civil conversation and some human beings.
Yeah, that's why we started this podcast, by the way.
Right,
because it's based on Twitter conversation. I can't be responding to every thread.
Let me say this. You have people who would have literally woken up and told the Levites, because this is exactly what you're doing. You would have literally looked a Levite in the face in that year and say, you don't need to have money to take care of your children. You should focus on worshiping God.
Yeah, that statement. That if you have faith.
Are you out of your mind? You are demonic.
You're under the influence. I don't even need.
You are a demon.
I don't need any of these things.
You are a demon.
You are helping the devil's agenda.
Like, how does that help God? Somebody that's supposed to be focused. Yeah. Think about it. You that love God so much.
Actually,
you don't have children. That's why. I know parents will say such a thing. No family man will say such a thing.
Parents are saying it. It's like, so usually when it comes to us, we don't internalize things. It's until it happens to us, then we don't have an explanation. Every time it comes home, then everybody's like, oh, this thing. It's not like prosperity is bad. It's just the balance. So you are the one who you can balance. We are in balance now. It's you now. You sabi balance. We know sabi balance. Like Balenciaga. I just had to do.
If you just think about it, we have a system. If the person could devote their time,
I tell you,
it's the same reason somebody wake up and start shouting tithe and offering. Is the pastor not so? See, if the pastor was not giving value to the people, nobody will come to the church.
This episode will not
you're paying motivational speakers. You're paying life coach. You're paying therapists. You don't go pay your pastor.
Trainer, you pay gym
instructor.
Everything.
You pay chef. You pay Uber driver.
Well-being.
You pay for fitness and well-being. You pay for food. You pay for the clothes on your back. You pay for Netflix and chill. And somebody is feeding you value week in, week out, and you don't think, I wanted that one to be for the people, but it's all right.
So for me, right?
But so just think about it.
Yeah, and I'll just introduce this, and then we'll have a proper topic, episode dedicated to this. The value system problem is that because we don't understand how value works, we've also sabotaged ourselves. So which is all Angeloh is saying. These industries you are shouting about, someone is bankrolling.
Industries are bankrolling.
Industries are bankrolling industries. Some of these labels are backed by banks and
bigger labels
and bigger venture capitalists, like all manner of things, right? Because it's seen as profitable. Now, just so you know how smart this adversary you are dealing with is, while it's profitable, he makes it profitable so that these people are like they are enticed to come and sponsor it.
One.
Then he's now going to, because he can't waste, I mean, why is he wasting airtime? He will now package his agenda. 30 years, I'm 30 plus. So I've seen some agendas that started. I knew when slim ladies were the standards. I was here. I was alive then. I knew when Halle Berry and the rest were like.
We have seen skinny.
Skinny.
We have seen thick BBL. We have seen the return.
We are now seeing the return to normal body.
But it's coming. Another one is coming.
But
it has all been massive.
We've seen
marketing campaigns.
These things go. We saw when it was a lot of light skin. Like we've seen these things, right? So there's always an agenda. The gay one, I remember in the 90s, you would not see those things in the movie. It would just like you would need some special movies. Yes, chaos, some special movies, and it just happens in those, maybe when they're going to those club scenes.
Yeah.
You see those things. And then it's like slowly, and now it's 2024 and it's full on
movies.
They were, what I like about them, they were pushing agenda and they were still making money. So it shows that it's possible to be profitable while pushing an agenda. Now, that money is what keeps the agenda going. So the fastest way to destroy any of these things, just defund them. Just defund it.
Why? Okay, this might sound too intelligent. When they were shouting Black Lives Matter, protest was heavy. And it was because police brutality. What was the first and most powerful thing people were requesting for?
Yeah.
Defund the police.
Yeah. That was the first thing. Exactly.
If you defund the entity, it ruins its power.
It will die a natural death.
It will die a natural death.
Simple.
Something else happens. So I say, if you understand how value works, there are some of the things we say that we will not say. If you defund the entity will not lose focus.
Exactly.
So there's something John always says, which we're going to come back. He says, we have industries now that have, Ashake is a full-time music artist.
Yeah.
His manager is a full-time music manager. His record label are full-time music labels. The clubs that he goes to perform at are full-time clubs. They are not doing part-time job. They are full-time businesses. And you have to probably do 3 jobs just to be okay. Then you now have like 2 hours on the weekend to try to bring your own lights, your part-time lights,
this little light
to fight against a massive full-time entity.
You want to use part-time. You want to use weekend part-time.
To fight
something that is full-time.
Full-time agenda.
No, weekend part-time with no funds. Broke freelancing. You want to use broke freelancing. With anxiety and dealing with remembering your landlord and all these things.
Weekend part-time broke freelancing to fight fully funded, supported agenda.
Properly structured, loaded with men, just you in your room.
Just think.
So we're here talking to a few. There's just a few good men are expected to go and take an industry that's so big that they have branches.
And don't bring David and Goliath.
No, don't try it. Yes, don't try it in this. We don't do that kind of thing here. Don't try it.
It's not a system.
That's not a system.
God is a God of system.
You say miracle. Did you say miracle happened when they entered into
the Levites show us that God is a God of system.
On the way to Canaan, yes, now you will live by manna.
In Canaan, you go plant.
In Canaan, Baba, you go do agriculture. That one are proper. So you come to and now we want to fight these guys. We want to take that system. It's not possible. Just think about it. Just
don't type it. Just think.
Don't do any. Don't share it with your friend. You don't say, this person needs to see it. You pause your own place and just internalize it. So that's the end of. I feel like we've done justice to this conversation with this viewpoint of ours.
We hope
we are convince you and not confuse you on the need to allow Christian creatives breathe.
Yes, let us breathe.
don't choke our this thing. Let us pray. So
support a Christian creative out there.
Yeah,
Like,
and start by
comment.
Start
with us.
If you say you have repented,
Start by subscribing
to this channel.
Like, leave a comment, share with your friends.
Sponsor,
support. Bring that BB Nigeria revolting energy to
that
this.
thing you guys used to do for your faves.
Your faves. Or the ones that trigger you.
Yeah, that trigger.
Maybe I should just go and do a concert and just put kill goats on the altar.
All you need is just wear red spandex.
You guys I'll just train. Don't worry, we're coming for you in the next episode. See you guys.